Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Passioknit Kelsie and welcome to this very passionate vlog. So today I would like to try out some yarn that has been out for a while. I wouldn't necessarily consider it new anymore, but I have not used it, so it's new to me. And yes, I am talking about the Red Heart Flower Power all-in-one yarn. So this yarn came out in October of 2024. And I've definitely had my eye on it ever since then. Okay, I obviously did try the first all-in-one yarn that Red Heart came out with, this guy right here. This one is the Granny Square all-in-one, and it just makes a classic granny square. But this time, the yarn supposedly is going to make another kind of granny square, specifically flowers. If you can see them, they are back here. So this is what we're getting ourselves into today. I'm gonna try my best. So first of all, this is a yarn by Yarnspirations, Red Heart brand. It is the all-in-one. This one is called Flower Power because it makes flower granny squares. No color switching, keep on stitching. That is the main focus of this yarn. The whole purpose is that you can make this entire granny square with all the color changes and the flower design without cutting off your yarn at all. Down here, it recommends a 5.5mm hook. This QR code is for a free pattern, probably for this blanket right here. Right here, it says that there is a step-by-step on the back. That should tell us how to make the flower granny square specifically so that it works up correctly. This is the color Peony Pop. Basic info, it's a worsted weight yarn, it's 100% acrylic, all that interesting stuff. Right here, it says that one skein should end up with 12 squares. And that's it. I am excited, right? Okay. I had generally a good experience whenever I was trying out the first granny square iteration of this yarn. I have a whole video review on it if you'd like to go watch. It did take a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of figuring out time, but after I figured it out, it was fine. The yarn works up just fine. But I've heard that this one is a little bit better than the granny square yarn. So I'm hoping that this time it'll take a little bit less tweaking and we can like maybe just right away make the perfect flower power granny square. I don't know. We'll find out. But first, I need to take this off because the instructions are on the label. They have the written instructions as usual, and they also have a graph down here if you prefer those. I am going to start by following these instructions exactly and see how it turns out. Last time I did this, I did that, didn't really work, and I had to kind of fiddle around with the hook size, taking into account my tension and whatnot to make the colors work out just correctly. So we may have to do that again. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this. Going to need a 5.5, which is great because we just bought one of those, and I'm ready. This should make us a square with a yellow center, white petals, and then the surrounding square will be pink. The center pole should start you right on the correct color. Here we go. All right. This pattern would like us to do a chain 4 slip stitch to make a circle. I usually do a magic circle, but I'm following directions today, okay? Here we go. Now we shall chain 3 and do 9 double crochets in our ring. And that should use all of the yellow. Look at that. It worked. Okay. Join the round, 10 double crochets, color 1 complete. Next, here we go. Color 2 begins, chain 3, 1 double crochet in the first double crochet, 2 double crochets in each double crochet around. Join 20 double crochets. Here's round 2. Currently, we have an egg, and we are still on white, so looking good so far. Round 3, slip stitch in the next double crochet. Okay, sure. Chain 3, 1 treble crochet in the same space as the last slip stitch. 3 treble crochets in the next double crochet. 1 treble crochet, 1 double crochet in the next double crochet. Slip stitch in the next double crochet. I believe we're making our petals, and we're just gonna go all the way around. Okay, I guess we did that. And the color change did happen at the end of the round, so that's good. Although it wanted to happen a little bit early. All I did was go back 3 stitches and did them a little bit tighter. Other than that, it's going good, I think. Round 4. Okay, so at the end of round 3, end by joining with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3, which I did. But then the 4th round, it starts with slip stitch in the first double crochet. The next stitch is a treble crochet. The next 5 stitches are treble crochets. I'm gonna guess that's not supposed to be in there. Slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. The chain 3 at the beginning of the round counts as the first double crochet, and then the next round says to slip stitch in the first double crochet. I think that means the same thing. I'm not going to slip stitch in the same thing twice. So I guess I'm just not going to do that and move on. Start with a chain 3, 1 double crochet in the next treble, 1 half double crochet in the next treble, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, 1 treble in the double crochet of 2nd round over slip stitch in the 3rd round. Okay. Sure. 1 double crochet. Repeat. Got it. Okay, it's curling up, which it's fine. Here we are, round 5. Nope, that was round 4. Now we're on round 5. Okay, chain 6, treble crochet, same spot, 2 double crochets in the next stitch, chain 1, 1 double crochet, 1 half double crochet, 1 single crochet, repeat twice. Wait, no, that's wrong. Chain 6, yes, treble crochet, yes, 2 double crochets, yes, chain 1, double crochet, okay, half double crochet, single crochet, chain 1, skip, 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets, treble, chain 2, treble. Okay, now we repeat. Here is round 5. Not bad, not bad at all. We have one more round and then we will be finished. Slip stitch in the chain 2 space, chain 2. This does not count as a stitch. All right. 1 half double crochet, chain 3, 3 half double crochets, chain 1, 3 half double crochets, chain 1, and each chain 1 space to the next corner. Okay. You get the vibes? Whoa, fasten off, leaving a 24-inch tail? Every time? Actually? Dang. That is so much pink. Okay. For what? Also, it just says fasten off, so I'm going to fasten off the way that I like to do it. This is unnecessary. This is an unnecessary amount of leftover yarn. Every square. Here it is, guys. Finished Flower Power square. Yeah, I don't need all that. So, overall, first square impressions. The colors worked up exactly how they were supposed to. I only had to frog once, and I only had to frog like 3 stitches, which is great. Also, it was the exact hook size that it recommended. I didn't have to change anything about the pattern, and yeah, that's exactly how it should be. All of the extra pink at the end is interesting. I think that it makes sense, I guess. This can be used for sewing. It is like nice, it can be nice. I don't think it's necessary though. It definitely solved the problem that some people were having with the granny square yarn, where like they were running out of yarn and it was cutting it a little bit close in between the color changes between the end of your last square and the beginning of your next square. At least it was doing that for me. So having this is like, it's a problem solver for that. Although every square, don't know if it's necessary. That does explain something though. On the label, this says that it makes 12 squares. And I was wondering why that was a lower number, because on this one, it makes 14 squares. And now that makes sense considering how much yarn they have left over in between each of the squares. In general, I am happy with the square. I think that it looks good. The only thing is like this little slip stitch, which is still yellow, but like you're not gonna see that. Whenever I make all of the squares and sew them together into like whatever project it's gonna be, it's not gonna be noticeable whatsoever. I will keep the pattern the same. I think that the only thing I'll change is probably just like this thing right here. Very small. They have you slip stitch into the chain 2 space so that you can start in the corner, and then they have you chain 2, but the chain 2 like doesn't count as a stitch. And I think that's too big, so I will probably just do a chain 1 instead of a chain 2, or I will just do like a regular half double. It's just a little bit clunky and it's not needed. So other than that, thoroughly impressed with the first square. I hope that all the other squares go this smoothly. Yeah, I mean, if the rest of it works up like this, it's gonna be a piece of cake, because no frogging, hello, that would be awesome. About the written pattern, it was just fine, except for the end of the 3rd round, beginning of the 4th round. Like I said, I feel like they put in the slip stitch twice. Red Heart is a big company. I feel like they probably should have caught that. I get it. but I crochet a lot. I know what I'm doing, and if a beginner tried this, I feel like they would be confused. And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I am going to weave in my ends because I weave in my ends as I go, because if I had to weave in my ends on all 12 squares at the very end, I would never do it. So I'm gonna weave in my ends, and then I'm going to start making all my other squares. This is very spring, which is perfect because it's March right now. I am pleasantly surprised. I think that they fixed most issues that anyone had with the last Yarnspirations Granny Square yarn. And that was like mainly the color spacing, having to frog and stuff like that. But also, this is my first impression. I still need to make the rest of the squares and see if that remains a consistent plus throughout all the squares. The curling up didn't end up being a problem at all. This is just fine. It could be blocked, but you guys know that I am a lazy bum. Probably won't be blocking it. Ends woven, completely finished. Looks amazing. Let's see. The finished square ended up being 6.5 inches. Not blocked, which is good. I can make balaclavas out of these. The Yarnspirations website also already has like a bunch of patterns to use with this yarn, so I'm just gonna make all the squares and then we'll see. We'll see what is calling my name. I hope the rest of the squares go this smoothly, and I will keep you updated. I have the pattern set up here on my tripod because I cannot memorize that. I think it's gonna take at least 3 or 4 squares before I've got it down.
I don't know, go watch Ashley's video on it because that's what they do. I'm not here to tell you about all that stuff because I don't know. They did the research on it, so you know, check that out. But then recently they have filed for bankruptcy again, and this time they're for real about it. And
flower. Guys, I think I've realized that they did the slip stitch thing twice between round 3 and 4, because on the end of round 3 it says end the round by joining with a slip stitch, and then they start round 4 with slip stitch to the first double crochet, which I mean, whenever I was making it the first time, I did just move to the next stitch and do another slip stitch. And then when I got it back around to the end on the next row, I was like, this is kind of weird and unnecessary. So yeah, I'm fixing that. I don't know why they did it twice, but I might frog a little bit. I might frog a teensy bit just so that the pink color change is like right on. Just do the last few stitches a bit bigger than I did them, I guess, and it'll be fine. See, okay, I frog because I'm picky, but I don't think that frog was like a necessary frog, you know? You could just keep going, honestly.
Sweatpants, you know? I was gonna use, my sister has a nice pair of sweatpants I was gonna use as a pattern on my shorts. Make a nice pajama set. Ah! I only got one yard of those. Like,
okay, yeah, once again, I don't need all this pink. I really don't. I'm gonna cut it off because I don't want to deal with all that while I'm weaving in my ends. And I guess I'll keep this like just in case. I want to use it for sewing later, but like doubt it. All right guys, square number 2 is complete. As you can see, the white went on a little bit too long, but once again, if you sew them all together, are you gonna catch it? If you look close, yeah, but other than that, it's fine. Had no problems with the pattern. Frogging, only did it once, and I mean, other than that, it's going great. It's going real smooth. Real smooth. I'm wondering how many squares I'm actually going to end up with. Okay, this one, the granny square one, it says 14 on the label. They actually make 15. This one, it says 12 on the label. Cross my fingers, it'll actually make 13 because I have this specific granny square bag pattern that I like, and it requires exactly 13 squares. So if there's 12, that would suck because I'd be one short. But if we can pull out 13, we can make the bag. If not, we'll have to make something else. Having minimal problems here. I've made my flower. I've actually made it twice, and there's still just far too much white left over. I'm supposed to be starting my next round right now, but yeah, I guess I'll frog it and try to do all the stitches again looser. But of course the third square is where the problems start happening, right after I said it was going great. That didn't help very much at all. So, I don't know. Am I gonna have to frog back both rows and do the whole thing? Because I only frogged back one row for the petals. Yeah, maybe. Okay. That didn't work. So long. For what? For what? Okay, whatever. Square number 3. In order to fix the white problem, I ended up pulling back like 3 things, and I did right here, I added a treble crochet, but I didn't want to change my stitch count, you know, going around the edge, so I did a treble crochet 2 together. I don't know if that's going to affect my square a lot, but oh well. Here we are.
Local DMV.
Damn thing about look, you could never make even this pathetic of you. And obviously that little boy.
Hello. So, I have officially worked through my entire first skein of Red Heart All-in-One Flower Power. I made all of them, every square, and here are my final thoughts. First of all, I was correct. I ended up with 13 squares, even though the label says it will make 12, although on the last square, I did run out of pink on the last round, and I had to tie on some extra pink that I had left over from all of the ends. But also, let me tell you, the amount of pink that I had run out of at the very end was like literally 2 clusters. So, could they have maybe put a little bit less pink in between each square and added the teeniest bit to the end so that you can make your 13th square? Yeah. I don't know if every skein is going to be like that, or maybe it was just this one. Either way, I am happy that I have 13 squares, because now I can officially make a tote bag with this, and that's probably what I'm going to do. Speaking of the leftover, each square, as you saw, had a ton of leftover pink, and it says at the very end, you will have approximately a 24-inch tail. I saved all of it. Here it is. So I have 13 pieces of 24-inch yarn strips. I think this is way longer. This is way longer than that. This wrapped around my ruler 5 times. There are 5 strands on the front and the back of this ruler. That's way more than 24 inches, guys. I don't know. In my opinion, this was unnecessary. It's kind of dumb. I don't like it. It's a lot of yarn waste. Yes, it's a nice thing to have, I guess, if you want to use it to sew together your squares, but really, who's gonna do that? I know I won't, because I don't like sewing together granny squares. I would always rather like put them together either as I go, or I like to do a slip stitch to join my squares. I don't really like sewing, so this is not good for me personally. Do any of you like this? Is this cool to you guys? I don't know. To me, this is a lot of waste. Even if I was going to use it for like one of the methods I would use, I would have to tie all of this together. No. So yeah, really, this is trash, I guess. There were a few things that I decided to change about the red heart written pattern for the squares. I started using a magic circle in the middle instead of the chain 4 slip stitch circle. I just prefer the magic circle. Instead of using the chain 3 that counts as a double crochet, I just started doing a stacked single crochet because I like that better than using a chain that counts as your first double crochet in a row. And I also finish my row in the corner differently in the pattern. They have you like cut one of your clusters in half. Like you start with 1 half double crochet and then you make your chain 2 for the corner and then you do the next 3 half double crochets. I didn't do that. I just started with 3 half double crochets on this side, went all the way around. I ended with doing 3 half double crochets and then making my chain like the last thing that I do. But other than those things, the rest of the pattern I left exactly the same. Now, in the beginning, I believe I said that this was much easier with the yarn color changing. While I was making the rest of the squares, I will say I did have not a lot of problems, I guess. I did have to frog here and there to get the color changes to match up with where the rows were. But I was also thinking about the fact that there's only 3 colors. And I mean, the beginning, that's okay. The end, it's pink for a really long time, so you're not going to run out of pink. The only real like color change spots where you have to pay attention to is between the yellow and the white and the pink. So it's only twice. Whenever I was working with the granny square yarn, this has 5 different colors. So of course I'm going to have much more problems and frogging and moving around stuff to get the color changes to match up versus 2 color changes. So did they fix it, or are there just less colors? I don't know. Overall, these are all things that I can get past. I would continue to buy this yarn and use this yarn. I do think it is pretty. It makes a beautiful square. It's definitely a flower, you know? I really like the colorways that they have, and I want to try them all out. I have 2 more over here that are waiting for me. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should just go ahead and make these while I'm in the flower granny square mode. Probably go by quicker. Not today though. So yeah, overall I'm going to say generally a good experience. I mean, considering the fact that I said I will buy this yarn again and continue using it, obviously it wasn't that bad. That is coming from me, someone who has been crocheting for 12 years. And I've been full-time doing this as a business for 5 years. So even though that there were problems, I could work through them easily. I can definitely understand when other people have major struggles or issues with this yarn. And that's all. Guys, let me know down in the comment section if you have used this yarn. I feel like, you know, since I waited so long to film this review, and it actually came out literally months ago, a lot of you have actually probably tried it. So let me know your opinions. I want to hear it. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think that the pattern was written poorly? Do you think I'm crazy? I don't know. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate you, and hopefully I will see you guys next time when we make this into a bag. Bye!